Hi, I'm Bart Hanson, the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description. Squish My Tomato here. You're up next.
Hey,
Hello.
what's up, Bart?
What's up?
Hey, I've got a hand from you from yesterday at the Commerce.
Okay.
So it is 510,
Yep.
about 2,000 effective, but it doesn't really come into play.
Mm-hmm.
The villain in the hand, I don't want to say names or anything, but he's like a well-known live at the bike guy.
Okay.
I didn't know who he was. I don't really watch live at the bike or anything. I've never played with him before, but
Yeah.
just one orbit earlier. I was in the big blind. He was in, I was in the big blind, and he had led into me for 3 streets on a Jack 4-4 board with Jack 9, and I had 9-4 in the big blind, and I just called.
Okay.
And I was good. That's my only history with him. I had slid over 1 seat, so he's under the gun. He limps. I raised to 45 with ace queen of clubs.
So he limps under the gun?
Yes.
Okay.
And the small blind calls, and he calls. So we're 3 ways to the flop.
Ace, queen of clubs, right?
Yes.
All right. Small blind calls and he calls.
The flop comes ace 2 6, and the 2 and the 6 are both clubs.
Ace, 2 of clubs, 6 of clubs. So you've got the nut flush draw and an ace.
Yes.
Okay.
So both of them check to me. I bet smaller. I bet only half pot here. Just figuring, I want to keep smaller flush draws in. If I didn't have clubs, I'd obviously bet bigger. I bet 65.
Okay.
Small blind folds, and the limper, the villain, he calls.
Small blind folds and the limper calls. So you've got this guy. Now let me ask you this question. When you said that he's like a live at the bike guy, is that I know, I think I know. He's not, you wouldn't necessarily call him a professional, right?
No,
Okay,
no, not
okay,
at
I
all.
know who you're talking about. I just want to, because sometimes people, you say you don't watch live at the bike, so it's like, so this guy is a recreational player, but he plays quite a bit. So,
Yes.
yeah, you bet 65 and the limper calls. Ace deuce 6.
Yes.
Yep.
The turn is a red 8.
A red
He
8.
checks.
Okay. Yep.
He checks, and I bet 135, targeting, again, smaller club draws and
Ace.
aces.
Yeah, sure.
And he thinks for about 45 seconds, and he calls.
So here bets 135, V1 calls. And again, this is one of these things where I'm almost 99.9% sure that I know who you're talking about, and because I know this guy's style, it's interesting because if this guy were to check raise the turn, he would never be bluffing, like ever. Ever, ever, ever. So it's you got to understand that when that player types are important. Just like Jack 7-7 said in the last call, it's like you got player types and then you got knowing specific players. But I'm very, very familiar with this player, so it's one of these things where you'd have to really evaluate, like, am I just do I just have clubs here? But I also know that this guy doesn't slow play, so I wouldn't have expected a turn check raise all that much. But anyways, he makes
Yeah,
the
and
call.
he just calls. And that, by the way, what you just said, that's kind of been. I felt like I'm in the dark because I've gotten so used to the player pool at Hustler.
Yeah.
I've been playing about 50-50 between 5-10 at Commerce and 5-5 at Hustler, and I feel like I'm in the dark so much that Commerce I've kind of had to tone back, play much tighter, especially from up front, just because I don't know the player pool at all.
Let me ask you a quick question just to interject. So I haven't gone over to Hustler that. So how does the game size compare? The 5-10 at Commerce? Because I've heard like that Hustler's been getting some deep 5-5 games.
Yeah, it's really not that much bigger.
What, the Commerce
Especially
game's
since
not that much bigger?
the Commerce game is not that much bigger. I mean,
Yeah.
the average stack size is bigger, but I mean, even on weeknights at Hustler, I mean, you'll be in games where the average stack, is over 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
sometimes up to 1,500 at the table. I mean, there's some deep games there.
Yeah.
But, especially during the day and during weekend days, the Commerce game definitely is bigger.
Okay. So now we roll to the river.
The river is a red 5.
Okay. So I'm going to say 8 of hearts, 5 of hearts. So it's ace, deuce, 6, 8, 5. You had the ace, queen of clubs, so you've bricked out, but you still have ace, queen.
I'm not sure this matters, but one was a heart and one was a diamond.
Whatever.
The 8 and 5.
Okay. So not the same flush.
So
Shoot. Okay.
Now he thinks for about 15 to 20 seconds, and he leads for 550.
So the pot is when you bet 135 on the turn, right? And he calls, and you had bet half the pot, 65 to 250. So it went half pot, 275, 20. So that's like a full size pot size bet, right? Just about a full pot size bet.
Yeah, he just comes out and pots it.
You know what sucks here, I gotta be honest with you, is that his line does, and I have seen him make bluffs like this before, this particular guy, where it just doesn't make any sense, but, you have the clubs in your hand, which kind of sucks. It also kind of, but it's weird, though, because I don't, again, I know this guy pretty well, it's not like he would come out and lead, I think, for that sizing, though, with ace-5 either, so it's almost like he's got 9-7 of clubs here for value. It's such a thin value range. 3-4 Does 3-4 call the turn? Probably not. I know it's really, really weird. It just sucks that you have clubs. That you've got that ace queen of clubs. So it's like he's got to have king jack or king 10 of clubs for this to be type of bluff.
That's kind of what I figured, that I have the clubs. I'm blocking the clubs. But then again, I kind of thought about it more, and I thought, blocking the ace of clubs is kind of irrelevant because I don't know him, but I wouldn't think he would be turning an ace in a hand with the ace of clubs into a bluff here.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that you wouldn't know. I mean, Squishy, I wouldn't call. Well, first of all, this guy would never make this play against me, but I wouldn't call here at the end. I understand what you're saying about the ace of clubs. Yes, you're right. It doesn't make that much of a difference. The queen of clubs does a little bit, but I just think that he's going to be, you're getting 2-1, and he's going to be more than 2-1 times more value here than bluffs. As thin as he reps, that's what I would say.
I mean, I figured this, he doesn't know me and I don't know him, and I figured,
right.
It sucks, but it's one of those LOL live poker things where it has to be 7-9 of clubs or something.
Yeah. So you folded?
I did. I turned over the ace and I tried to talk to him and get any kind of response out of him and couldn't get anything, so I folded. And then he called me a nit for folding and didn't really say anything besides that. So I think he had it, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would be pretty happy with my fold there. So.
Okay, cool. Thanks,
All right,
Bart. Appreciate it.
You got it. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA100. Click on the link right there.